Googler. So whenever you want to Google, just put in your exact question. You can even add Stack Overflow just to get there. Like, for example, how do I create multi-line comments? This, he's asking it because he's asking in the wrong way. He's asking in a different language. And down here, the answer is this. Look, I don't know if you can see that. I should just make the screen a little bigger. This is a multi-line comment through two quotes. So all the answers are there. You just have to get to the point where you know the question to ask. So it's all on Google. Don't worry about it. Now you know how to comment versus code. Now I want to talk about printing. So how do I get something to print out here? If I run this again, you can see nothing shows. But printing is simply the act of saying, hey, computer, show me this. So I can say print, and do this with me, with everything. Just do everything with me. I can say print, and then I put these quotes in here, and I can say, hello, this is my first piece of code. And you can see here, this is how it goes. You type in print, then you put a parentheses, and then a quote. It can be a single or a double. Remember, I already told you that. It can be a single or a double quote. And then you put in your sentence. So, hello, this is my first piece of code. And then you put the quote again to close it, and then the parenthesis to close it. So whenever you use a parenthesis, you type it one time, and it makes both of them for you because it's required. If you have an opening parenthesis, you must have a closing one. Same with a quote. So you type it one time, it's going to make an opening one and a closing one for you. So that's another great thing about coding is a lot of stuff is just done for you. So when things look really intimidating, like if you look at all this code I've written for my bot, it looks intimidating, but more than half of these words are just auto-populated for me. So let's go ahead and try to print this. Let's delete those. Now it's just a print, parentheses, quote, then your sentence. I said, hello, this is my first piece of code, then another quote, and then parentheses. Now if we hit the play button, look, it says, hello, this is my first piece of code. So boom, now you can see this. These are my notes. It didn't print out because the hashtags. And then here it says print, hello, this is my first piece of code. And that's your first piece of code. So huge congratulations. I'm telling you, this stuff is not that hard. Just type with me for the rest of this training and you will know how to code in Python, and you can absolutely crush it in whatever you want to do with this in your future. So that's how you do a print statement. A print statement is simply saying, hey, computer, show me this. Show me this thing. Because usually you can see if I remove the print, I can put like a call this a sentence here. Sentence equals that. And if I run this, it shows me nothing. But now look at this. I say print, and before I just had this sentence in there, but now I set sentence equal to sentence. I could say sentence. And now it will print something. Hello, this is my first piece of code. Now we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I'll get to that later. But printing is pretty much saying, hey, show me something. Okay, so now you know how to print in Python, and that's your first piece of code. So congratulations. That's really, really awesome. And we're just going to keep on moving because we've got a lot to learn. And I just showed you a little something. It's called a variable. A variable is a storage box. So that's how I like to look at it. You have this box in your closet, right? And you store all your cables in that box. Well, next time you need a cable, where do you go? You go to your box. Okay, so let me type in box and say, hey, box equals, well, what's this box equal? Let's put quotes there, and it equals all my cables. Box equals all my cables. Now you can see a variable is just a storage box, and whenever you create a variable, you have to put an equal sign. So box equals whatever you want right here. Now we'll get to this in a bit, but it can be a string, which is a sentence. And that's what we did here. And I'll get to the other things later. So again, there's a lot of weird words in coding. I don't know why we don't just call them sentences, but they're called strings. So definitely write down your notes. String equals sentence, or sentence equals string. And you can see here, I wrote the code right here, and then I put a hashtag, pound symbol, and after this, it's going to ignore this code. So what do you think is going to happen if I run this code? Nothing, because I didn't print anything. So I have this variable, and a variable is just a storage box. And I put a sentence, and a sentence is called a string in Python for some reason. It's just called that, and in coding in general, strings equals sentence. Well, I set this variable, I said equals all of my cables. But it didn't do anything when I hit play because I didn't ask it to do anything. I just said, hey code, now you know box equals all my cables. And the code's like, all right, well, I stored it. Sweet, what do you want me, I mean, all right, I did my job. You hit play, I stored it, and I did my job. But why doesn't it show me it down here? Now, if you look back to our last note, printing is showing something. So we set this variable, which is simply just a box, a storage box.